If you look up from time to time, what you will find is pretty spectacular. Low-country skies are often swarming with some of the most spectacular birds in the animal kingdom. We've got your authority on all things avian. Let's welcome Stephen Schabel, Director of Education for the Center for Birds of Prey. It's great to have you.
Great to be here.
So, it's very rare that you catch an owl in the wild. He wants something to say. So why does he make that noise?
Well, owls and birds in general, they communicate for the same kind of reasons we would. This owl, that sound that he made is communicating that he wants something to eat. That's the give me some food, mom kind of a sound that a young owl would make.
He's gorgeous. Yeah. What kind of owl is he?
This is called an Asian brown wood owl. So not a bird we'd expect to see in South Carolina, but a cousin of our barred owl that is very common. Barred because of these lines on the chest. Horizontal lines in birds are bars. So the barred owl is chances are if you see an owl in the low country, it's probably a barred owl.
So this particular one, he is not native
No, not native. Native to Southeast Asia. This is a bird that's a part of our educational collection at the center. He was actually bred at the center, hatched last year in the spring.
He is a handsome one,
Definitely.
and he's putting on quite the show for our viewers. So thank you for that, Mr. Owl. But what you do at the Birds of Prey Sanctuary, you do tremendous work there, and of course you're highlighted during SEWE, so people get to see the kind of work that you do there. So tell us a bit more about.
Well, so the center was started a little over 30 years ago to deal with birds that were injured in the wild. So we have a hospital where we provide care for primarily birds of prey that end up in trouble out there. They get hit by cars or they get tangled in things, eat things they're not supposed to eat. Out of that medical effort grew the idea that we could be teaching the public about these animals. So that's what we do at the Center for Birds of Prey, is we teach people about these animals and what they can tell us about the environment that we share. SEWE is a great opportunity to get in front of a lot of people.
And you know, what I was saying before is that to spot an owl in the wild is so rare, also because they are camouflaged because of their feathers. So when you're talking about their barred feathers, they blend right into any tree that they're sitting in. The last time I saw one was at night, actually, and only because my headlights were reflecting in its eyes. So I knew that there was something up in the tree, and it was
absolutely. You're probably more likely to hear one than see one, certainly. And you know, even those of us that go out actively seeking birds could probably count on our fingers the number of times that we've seen an owl. So they are certainly secretive, well camouflaged. They're awesome animals.
They are, and the nature of the owl as well, we've talked about it before, but the way in which they can rotate their necks. So tell us a little bit more about the anatomy of an owl, how it's different from other birds.
That head rotation is something people always associate with owls. We think it's broader than just owls. That's an adaptation in birds, a tool for cleaning themselves. If you think about it, birds clean themselves with their beaks, and they've got to reach all the hard to reach places with their beaks, so they've got to have a flexible neck. Some of the things though unique to owls, the eyes. When you look at an owl, probably the first thing that jumps out, and you mentioned it, the one you saw, your headlights caught in the glare of the bird's eyes. This little owl weighs about a pound, so not much bird here. His eyes are larger than your eyes are, so that gives you a little bit of a perspective on the proportion of his body made up by his visual sense. He can see in almost complete darkness. In
almost complete darkness and things that are very far away, so they're very good hunters.
Well, excellent hunters, yeah. So not necessarily seeing things far away. When you think about birds of prey, the daytime hunters certainly are picking up things at a great distance. Owls are a little more close range hunters. They're using their eyesight and their hearing to locate food. So it's more of an up-close pursuit for them.
I was going to ask if your arm was getting tired, but when you said that the bird is only a pound.
Only a pound.
Yeah, that's not too, I don't feel sorry for you anymore.
It takes a while for a pound to get heavy.
Yes, it certainly does. And they also have unique legs, and their just entire body structure is so different from other birds.
Absolutely. They're built for silence. That's the primary strength of an owl, is to be stealthy. And so feathers all the way down the toes and a soft coating of feathers is what makes his body look so big, is that puffy coat that absorbs a lot of that sound energy as he's moving through the night sky. They're not built for speed or efficiency. They're built for being really stealthy and picking up on the movements of that prey in the darkness.
How many native species do we have to the Low Country?
We're pretty sparse in terms of our owls in the Low Country. We only have 4 common owls in the Low Country. The barred owl, which is most like this guy. It's kind of our middle-sized owl. We have a large owl called the great horned owl. You probably hear great horned owls in your neighborhood. A small owl called an eastern screech owl, which they only stand about 5 or 6 inches tall, and then the barn owl. Is our last common native owl in South Carolina.
I see, and SEWE is a wonderful place to catch these birds, to be able to see up close and personal the way I am right now. So tell us when you're going to be there.
Absolutely.
And how people can learn more.
We'll be in Marion Square all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We try to get our tent open by 10, and we'll be there till about 5 every day. People will be able to get an up close look at this bird, as well as in the neighborhood of 20 additional birds from our educational collection. So we'll have a broad selection of hawks and falcons and vultures and owls, all for up close viewing in our tent. And then we have our flight demonstrations throughout the weekend as well.
Sounds so exciting. Well, thank you so much for sharing.
Oh, it was a pleasure.
And you were such a hoot. Had to stick that one in there.
Right.
I'm sure you've heard that one before. I will see you later. We'll be back after this.